right? You make her happy, so you'll be all right.
And happy wife normally is about happy life for me.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It ain't about her, it's about you.
So Van says that because Jewish people showed up for Black Americans during the Civil Rights era, he now feels compelled to stand with them now. Let me be clear.
What's the white liberal ideology I'm following?
I'm not saying you.
No, that's what you said. So I'm saying, which one?
No one is free until we are all free. There is no room for any injustice.
Peace, family. It's your brother, Marc Lamont Hill. Welcome to the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel. It is time for the War on Gaza report. That's right. Every single day here on the channel, we give you the updated information about Israel's ongoing war in Gaza. And today, that war has reached day 223. That's right, day 223. This is a stunning number, an unexpected number for me, and one that I am deeply disturbed by. So every single night, we give you the coverage. We tell you what corporate media doesn't want you to know. We give you the mainstream media's perspective, and then we critique it. We challenge it. We give you the real perspective. We do that every single night. So I appreciate y'all for coming through and sharing some time and space with me. Hit the like button if you're here rocking with me, if you want to know more about Israel's war on Gaza. Tonight, of course, as always, we're here at 10:15. We started a little bit late, my apologies, but we're also doing some new things. As you see, night school is now at 9 p.m. We made the move in response to what you all asked for, and we'll continue to cover it at 9 o'clock. I think it's a good thing. And stay tuned. Right after the War on Gaza report, we'll be doing office hours. I'll be answering live questions for a while here on the channel, but let's begin with the War on Gaza report. We begin, as always, with the numbers. As of today, at least 35,272 people have been killed, and 79,205 have been wounded in Israeli attacks on Gaza since October 7th. The death toll in Israel from Hamas's attack stands at 1,139. In addition to the death toll in Israel, of course, dozens of people remain captive. There are many, many hostages that we also have to keep track of every single day. The number in Gaza has increased every single day. There's not been a day that I've covered this story since the war began that we did not have a casualty, and not a single casualty, not 5 casualties, not 10 casualties. I mean, the numbers are high every single day, and they continue to escalate at the same pace or similar pace in rate. And even this week, we saw a spike. We had a 24-hour period where more than 80 people were killed. I believe it was Tuesday going into Wednesday. And those numbers, again, are devastating, and they're scary. They're overwhelming. And they're deeply troubling. Thousands of Palestinians in the north, I'm talking about civilians, are cut off from water right now. Thousands of Palestinians in the north are cut off from water and food after a week-long Israeli incursion that has led to heavy casualties on both sides. If you didn't know, there are groups, not just Hamas, but Hamas-affiliated groups that have been battling, resisting the Israeli military in the north. And as a result, we've seen denied access to many very basic resources, necessities, and humanitarian access points. Israel says that they're going to continue to be in the north. They've heightened their presence in the north. There was a time where the north seemed like it was the safest space. And then we saw the military incursion into the north, which pushed many Palestinians to the south, ostensibly through these humanitarian corridors, etc. And Israel said, we have met our goal. We have accomplished our mission. We have controlled Hamas, or defeated Hamas even, in the north, and we're going to focus on the south. And then suddenly you saw more fighting in the north. You saw more military interventions in the north. There was a moment where the central part of Gaza seemed like the safest, but again, not so much. So what you're seeing is almost a whack-a-mole style response by the Israeli government. Now, some would argue a generous read of that on Israel's side would be that Hamas keeps popping back up, and so they have to keep going back and reasserting control. But I think for many people, it's less that. It feels more arbitrary or more sinister in its deployment, or in Israel. The Israeli government seems more arbitrary or more sinister in its deployment of military troops. There's something wildly arbitrary about it at times, it appears. And so this is all part of the mix that Palestinians are dealing with. The North is just not a place where there's looming famine and food insecurity, but it's again a place where we're seeing extraordinary amounts of troops be deployed. The South is also a place that the Israeli government and Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in particular, has been focused on. The South, in particular, the city of Rafah, has been a site of multiple things. It was an important city because it's a border city. 250,000 people live in Rafah. It then became a refuge site as people left Gaza City, as people left Khan Yunis, as people left the northern places like Jabalia. They ended up heading south and going to Rafah. But Rafah became so dense and so crowded, particularly after the north was destroyed. Remember, they didn't just attack people in the north. They didn't just fight in the north. They also destroyed the built environment. They destroyed masjids. They destroyed villages. They destroyed apartment buildings, etc. That's why 1.7 million out of 2.2 million Palestinians in Gaza are unhoused. Anyway, that group of people ends up in Rafah. So now Rafah grows from 250 to 500 to 750 to 1 million to 1.2 to 1.5 million people. Rafah is dense, and it's filled with precarity. And Benjamin Netanyahu made it his mission, made it his commitment to repeatedly say that he was going to invade Rafah. And he absolutely has invaded Rafah consistently. Let me take that back. He has consistently set his sights on invading Rafah. Reconsider, read some literature, chew on the subject. And Netanyahu has been unrelenting. Germany said don't do it. France said don't do it. The UK said don't do it. Even America whispered, don't do it. Those whispers got louder in the last week or two, and so you began to see a more intense commitment by the international community to dissuading the Israeli government from having a ground invasion in Rafah. But then 10 days ago, maybe 12 days ago, we saw them take over the border, the Israeli government, the Israeli troops. Then we saw a kind of, how can I put it? There's actually no fancy way of putting it. Then you began to see troops and tanks come in, and people began to flee. And Israel has still not relented. In fact, Israel announced today that they plan to deploy more troops and intensify, that's their language, intensify the ground invasion of southern Rafah in defiance of these global warnings. South Africa, who we know has a case against Israel in the International Court of Justice, said South Africa urged the UN's top court, The Hague, to order a halt to Israel's assault on Rafah. They're saying, look, something has to go. They said the attacks, quote, must be stopped. According to South Africa's ambassador to the Netherlands, Vusimuzi Madonsela, in a conversation with the International Court of Justice, he said 7 months ago, South Africa could not have imagined that Gaza would be largely wiped off the map. Unfortunately, this has become the case. And as of right now, they estimated it was 600,000 earlier. But as of this moment, 700,000 people have fled Israeli attacks in Rafah in the past week. and another 100,000 in Gaza's north. So we're seeing that 1.5 million level out and flatten out because people are terrified. The question is, where do they go? Where do they go? There are no safe places in Gaza. There have never been safe places in Gaza, but they're getting more and more unsafe, more and more dangerous. And this is fundamental crisis. This is the fundamental problem that we're dealing with here. Fundamentally, this is it. U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin told his Israeli counterpart, if you don't know, that's Yoav Gallant, of the, quote, unquestionable necessity to ensure the protection of civilians. This is before any Israeli military operation would be carried out in Rafah. Lloyd Austin, our Secretary of Defense, was on a call with Gallant, and he emphasized the need for a, quote, uninterrupted flow of aid. He's talking about not just sort of the desire for aid or even the funding of aid, but also a physical flow through the Kadam Shalom, or what Palestinians call the Kadam Abu Salem crossing, as well as a Rafah crossing. Now, Lloyd Austin also said, you know, America's committed to Israel's security and committed to defeating Hamas. But this is important. Another thing that's happened in Gaza is Israel's military said that 3 soldiers were, quote, slightly injured in a confrontation with dozens of Israelis who had set fire to a truck and injured its driver in the vicinity of the Kochav HaShahar Israeli settlement, which is east of Ramallah in the occupied West Bank. The attack on the truck and soldiers appeared to be the latest incident of violence by Israeli extremists who have ambushed several trucks transporting humanitarian aid supplies destined for the people of war-torn Gaza. That is a quote from AlJazeera.com. So family, there is a considerable amount of unrest, a considerable amount of fear, a considerable amount of violence going on that has the world upset, has the world in a deep state of unrest. But we'll continue to fight. We'll continue to cover it. We'll continue to help direct the world toward peaceful, manageable, and durable solutions to the ongoing genocide in Gaza. I want to thank everybody for watching the War on Gaza report. Make sure you hit the like button if you appreciate the content. Let the YouTube algorithms know that we out here fighting, that we out here making content, and you like it, because independent media doesn't stand a chance if you don't hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. If you're not a subscriber right now, please hit that button and become a subscriber to the channel. It allows you to get access to all the latest content, all the latest podcasts and shows, including Night School, which is up every night at 9 p.m. Monday to Friday right here on the channel. And then finally, I want to send a request to everybody who's interested to hit that join button. That is to say, if you love the channel, if you love what we're up to, hit that join button, family. Hit that join button and become a paid member of the channel. That means that every month you support the channel, whether it's a bronze membership or a diamond membership. Anybody who's a member of the channel is providing necessary financial support as we fight this media storm. You don't want corporate media. You don't want mainstream media. You don't want cable media to be your primary sources of information and your primary resource for news. You want independent media. You want left-wing media. You want black media. And the only way to get that, unfortunately, when we don't have billionaire dollars behind us, when we don't have network patrons behind us, is to support it. This is each one teach one. This is us investing in each other. So please, if you can, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, but please also hit that join button. And as you see around down the screen there, we have Zelle, PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo. You can Venmo MLHTV. You can Cash App MLHTV. You can do all of the things to access us and bypass corporate media structures and pay cuts. So I appreciate y'all. I support y'all. And I'll see you soon. In fact, I'll see you right next, because we're going to have office hours right now. So head over right now. As soon as this is over, I want you to head over to office hours